Well, Polk Nation is back. You're back.
Back,
How
baby.
exciting is it to be back?
It's always great to be back. It's always
Every
great to
week.
be sitting. It's always great to sit and
brother.
visit with you, Gazzolo the Great.
Sure
It's
is.
always great.
I want to. Why do you gotta start? Why do you gotta start with me? Okay, I want to ask you this right off the bat because tournament's coming here.
Yes.
How are tickets? How do you get tickets if fans want to come?
Honestly, they're on sale right now online. You can go to the Southland website and you can buy them there, or you can actually call our ticket office and we're selling them. So they are on
I
sale.
had a couple of people ask me, is it session?
It is.
You
It
buy
is by
sessions?
session. Yes,
Okay.
it is by session. But the suites, we have the suites for sale. We obviously have, all the tickets now will be reserved. But yes, it is sold by session, and come get them. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be an interesting tournament.
It'd be
Are you going to
interesting.
be in the tournament, men's wise?
I think our women will. I think our women will.
I think your women played a really nice game the other day.
They did. I was really after
A nice bounce back.
It was, and I will tell you this, that, and I text Lynn after the game, is that to come back on such a short turnaround,
Yeah.
and go on the road and beat, a team that's really good, showed a lot of character. He got them ready to play after a tough loss. Really, really impressed with that. And, our men are just continuing to struggle. I really have no words, to be honest. It's very disappointing at this point, and obviously I'm still hopeful that we can rally here, but losing 9 games in a row in league, and it's disappointing.
Is there a magic number you think you're going to get to have to get in? 5 wins, 6 wins? 5 wins is going to be tough.
I think, yeah. I mean, if you don't get to 5, I think it's going to be really hard. And right now, Lamar and New Orleans and us, the 3 of us are fighting for the last spot, and unfortunately, right now we're at the bottom. So
Yeah.
we have some work to do. And
Critical you beat New Orleans.
it is critical. It is critical, and every game matters now. I mean, they all matter, but it's been a very disappointing year up to this point. And like I said, hopefully we can turn around, but it obviously is very disappointing.
Strange team in this fact. You've had 10-point leads. These are double digits leads. You've actually won as many games by double digits as lost in conference.
Yeah.
But in the final 5 minutes, I did the math last night. Outscored 155 to 102. Made 11 of 22 free throws, but missed 5 front ends. So that's 27 points possible and 27 turnovers. Your own worst enemy in the final 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's reasons why you win, there's reasons why you lose, and the teams that win games, especially in conference play, those stats are usually flipped, and the teams that lose games in league, usually those unfortunately are stats that are familiar, and I think that I used to say this as a coach. I think that teams lose games more than they win games, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that learning how to win and being comfortable in those moments, again, being able to get the shot by the person you want to shoot it in the place they want to shoot it. Those are things that you have to do, and you have to step up and make free throws, and but again,
It's about having an identity.
for sure, yeah. It's been a very disappointing year. I think that Coach Aiken, if he was here, would say the same thing. Up until this point, I'm still hopeful, but especially when you have the conference tournament here, and you've done everything that we've done as an institution to have that opportunity to host, and then having a chance of not even being in the tournament is something that right at this point is very disappointing.
I want to ask you a question about courts.
Okay.
So this is going to be a strange one for you because this doesn't involve McNeese, but you named a court Joe Dumars Court.
Sure.
Last year they named a court, made a big deal out of naming Larry Brown Court.
Or Dale Brown.
Dale Brown Court.
At
I'm sorry,
LSU.
Dale.
Yeah.
Dale Brown Court. That makes sense to me. Now there's a political movement to name it Sue Gardner Court at Dale Brown Court. And the question is, anybody want to rename this already?
No, as long as I'm here, that will never happen. That makes personally it makes no sense to me. I think it is a court, right? So if you want to name the court, it's this court. I mean, what are you going to do? Name the north side or the west side? I mean, it makes no sense to me. I understand the world of political correctness and those things, but I think
Name the free throw line, something.
it's just to me, I think that is
So it's Joe Dumars court for now.
it is going to be Joe Dumars court forever,
right.
and no one else's name will go on that court as long as I'm here.
All right.
I promise you
I always
that.
find the politics interesting because
Yeah, I get
people
it.
want to get involved.
I get it, but I mean, come on, I don't know. I mean, what are you going to do? Go to Duke and say, okay, it's Coach K court, and then somebody else and wants to put. I've never heard of that before. It
Well,
doesn't
they
make
do
sense
it
to
at
me.
football stadiums occasionally. It's the field and the court and all that. When are we going to get a name for the? Is Cowboy Stadium going to be Cowboy Stadium forever?
We'll see. We'll
Oh,
see.
come on, we'll see. What is that?
We'll see. I mean, look. I mean, the press box will be. It will be unbelievable for what we're going to build, and
It's not Heath Schroyer press
no,
box?
no. But we'll see. There's.
Are you going to name the baseball press box now that it's new?
It's all negotiable, my friend, and conversations are being had.
Speaking of baseball, Justin Hill will join us after the break on Polk Nation, McNeese baseball coach, right after this.
Welcome back to Polk Nation. It's a pleasure to have Coach Hill.
What's up, Coach?
How you doing, buddy?
Good, man.
We just said off the air, it's hard to believe baseball season is already here.
Yeah, I mean, it's like right after Christmas, when everybody gets excited with Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Here it is. So,
It's
that's right.
unbelievable. Well, look, obviously we're picked first. No pressure, right?
No, no.
But tell us how the off season's been. Tell us what you're the most excited about going into the year and all that good stuff.
Yeah, really probably just getting going and playing somebody else.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, after the fall, you kind of hit that lull where you're like, all right, it's time to play somebody else or time to be done in the fall. You scrimmage each other so much, but then you get off-season training. It was good. The guys came back in great health, and we had a lot of guys out during the fall from surgeries, guys we didn't even see. So it's good to see those guys back healthy.
Yeah.
And so we're almost there. We're not quite to the point we're tired of looking at each other, but we're all ready to put the same jersey on and go fight somebody else.
For sure.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Coach. What do you think going into the year, and you never know. I mean, no matter what sport you coach, you have ideas, but things usually, they can change. But what do you think is your biggest strength going into the year?
Yeah, I think the strength is going to has a chance to be the offense, and mainly because you're returning 6 guys that were regularly part of the lineup, and then you're also adding Trey Obregon, who was out, first right before conference series with a thumb, and so he's back for his actually 7th season. Okay, 7th season. So it's COVID
How many degrees
injuries.
is this guy going to get?
So we actually had to start adding classes at McNeese so he could take them. So it's been good. So
I love it.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
But it's rare that a team with so much coming back gets maybe its best player coming back that didn't play last year. What does he add to the lineup? Because he really links the lineup out, doesn't he?
Yeah, probably the biggest thing he does, other than his talent from the ability to bat the ball skills and strength, the fact that he gives balance to us. Very left-handed in a lot of ways. The fact he's a switch hitter. You can plug him in between 2 guys. So versus a right-hander, you could have a little bit more challenge, a bunch of left-handers together, but if they bring in a left-handed pitcher, it adds some balance to that. So that's probably one of his best traits that he has.
You're one of the most left-handed lineups. You were last year again, too. What does that do for you? Because you don't see a lot of predominantly left-handed lineups in college.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, it's either great or it's terrible. If you get somebody, if somebody comes in against you with a good left-handed slider, which nobody likes those. And but, I mean, it presents its own challenges on both sides of it. And the hardest part is we've only got 2 left-handed pitchers on the roster, so the challenge of them facing that, we kind of got to get that a little bit in the preseason. So it's just kind of how it is and the way it works, because when you're recruiting, you can't just go cherry pick everything you want. You got to go best available, and a lot of times the best available for us has been left-handed hitters.
You bring back a guy who's gonna be the hit king for the school. He comes back for another year. Part of that coming back is because Major League Baseball kind of shrunk its minor league system. How has that changed college baseball? How has that helped your program?
Well, I mean, it's different for those guys. I mean, that Peyton Harden, it's just, I don't, I mean, good, bad, it's just different because you got a guy who, with the COVID years in a fifth year, would never be a fifth-year player. The fact that we got both the player of the year and the pitcher of the year back, that would have never happened with 40 rounds. And it's a different challenge. This isn't something where they weren't highly touted, recruited players, so they're dealing with that pressure. So it's something that's different for our guys. And so they've handled it pretty well, as best they can, but it's a different challenge for those guys. But hey, I'd rather the pressure of having them than the pressure of replacing them right now.
What's he, 3 hits away?
Something like that. I think we're pretty close. So yeah, hopefully we'll knock that out Friday night. So.
Well, Coach, let me ask you this. As a coach and as a leader, you've done an unbelievable job. I mean, what you've done with this program and the stability and the consistency that you've developed is remarkable. But I've always said that you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with. Talk about your staff. You've been able to keep, your staff intact, the full-time assistants. Talk about those guys and what they mean to you and what they mean to the program.
Yeah, I mean, it starts with Nick Zaleski, who's been with us the longest time. I think he's entering his 8th season with us. And so since he's been here, we've been ranked first, like in the totality of those 8 seasons, first in every offensive category other than home runs and so I think stolen bases, and we're second in both of those. So, and then just his loyalty, his work ethic, and how things have changed and held together things after a pandemic and storms, and just his loyalty and what he and Amy have done for us, and they're not only great people but they're great friends as well. And then obviously with Coach Rickelson, I mean he's got more championships and fingers, for the time that he was here, Lamar, and their loss was our game. In that, and so, but he's getting a great chance to spend a lot of time with family and just he's grandpa, I mean, and he gets to do those great things. But they're so good to us and what they do, and so I'm very thankful for them.
That's awesome.
I know last year, I think it was, you and I talked about getting the extra coach, and now the extra coach is available in baseball. What does that mean?
Well, it just opens up opportunities. I think it's going to be just like when they deregulated, when they started to deregulate meals and different things like that. Are those opportunities going to be available to you? And so that's where conversations like me and this guy right here, we have, are we going to be able to do those things? And so it's good for the sport, and I think it's going to give us an opportunity to separate. I think.
When we come back, we'll have more with Justin Hill, baseball coach of McNeese State, after this on Poke Nation. We're back with Justin Hill here on Poke Nation. And Coach, I want to ask you about the new press box, the new overhang, kind of the rebuild of the stadium itself. How's it going?
It's good, I mean, they're only like 2 months behind, which is really good, It was supposed to be the end of the calendar year. But
That's it?
That's it.
Oh, that's
a pretty
early.
good deal.
That's
so
actually early.
I know. So, no, I tell you what, it's always a good time to get back the way it needs to be. And so, it's like when the McNeese was fixed on the scoreboard and those kind of things, just it's a part of the healing process and that. So it's good for the fans. It's good for everything that happens from a press, the game, all the things that go with that. I mean, hey, you guys were warriors up there last year in that.
It was cold.
It was tough and it was hot at times, and so so very, very grateful for all the, because it wasn't just us and not just the fans. It was you guys and obviously what we do upstairs as well. So excited about that.
The tournament last year was a lot of fun. I thought it was. I liked the 2 out of 3 at the end.
Yeah.
But what does it mean to have the tournament here for the next few years at least? What does that mean for your program as kind of a place? Because you get a lot of kids that come here as transfers because of kind of the establishment you've already made. They like to come here and pick this place up. What will the tournament do for you?
Yeah, I think it's a couple of different things, and so we're appreciative of what Heath was able to do at that time when there was uncertainty within the entire athletic department. But we know there's a target. I mean, we gotta do what we can to I mean, you're wearing that. I mean, that's not something some of these kids ask for, but, you know, we've got to make sure. I mean, the first goal, like last year was different. Like last year, the goal was finish first or second so you could host.
Yeah.
Because everybody got in. Now it's not everybody gets in. So, hey, we're going to make sure we qualify for it first. That's back to the old school that we were at. So the first thing is going to be qualify for it. Just because they ranked you in whatever preseason poll doesn't matter. I mean, those aren't going to automatically qualify for your tournament. So we're excited about it. The format's going to be neat, rewarding the number one seed. So there's going to be a fight to be able to get to that. So very excited. I think it's going to be good. There's not too many games going on. 3 games a day. I think it's going to be really good for the community.
Coach, talk about this. I mean, obviously we're in a real hotbed for baseball, right? And where we're located, there's really good baseball. You know, you go to any T-ball park. I mean, they're nuts, right? But you have been able to consistently reload and bring in talent. And you know, I was always, as a coach, I was always really big into recruiting because I wanted really good players. What do you sell? Talk about the recruiting process. You know, what are the things you look for? What are the non-negotiables? All those things. I think, you know, Polk Nation would love to know how you have you went about this year after year.
Yeah, I mean, it first all starts with the guys we talked about before with what you know, Nick and Jimmy do from getting those players. You got to identify the players before you can start to bring them in. They got to be, there's a certain level they got to be at. But hopefully one of the things that's happened, especially since the transfer portal has come about, is, you know, players talk. Players talk, and you're playing people that you may get one day, and it's not that you're actively trying to do it, but they see how you handle yourself. I mean, you may have somebody that told you no as a freshman, but they'll tell you yes as a transfer. So keeping those relationships right, doing the right things, handling yourself with pride, and then the other thing is giving them resources. I mean, that's the thing. Our goal has always been, I want to give you everything you need to be successful. I mean, you know, we may not give you 6 pairs of shoes or 12 T-shirts or whatever like that. Those things are nice, but we want to make sure that things like TrackMan, video software, things we do, recruiting, anything that's going to help the player get better. Player development is a key buzzword, but can you actually put the infrastructure in to be able to make it happen? And so I think, you know, they say it takes a long time to become an overnight success. And, you know, with that, you know, we've got guys that come back and that I think we've got over 10 guys in professional baseball right now. That's not something you can't fabricate that. I mean, you can sell that. So, you know, when we first got here, we were selling what we're going to do. And then now you get the chance to sell what you've done, but what you're going to try to do for that player. And then there's a level of expectation, but with that expectation comes the pressure. And so it's all the fun little thing to do.
Well, the good thing is, too, is like, and I always said as well, like, players do talk. But I don't think you give yourself enough credit, too, because people really, these kids love playing for you. And, you know, and I'll say this on air. I mean, all the kids that leave here, they all enjoy and they have great experience playing in your program. And that's, I think, is a huge thing that no one understands. Last thing I have for you, talk about this community and how they rally around your program.
They're so good. I mean, they're so good, not just showing up to ball games, but, you know, I mean, I know you get the same letters and stuff that I do that people want to just give and contribute and help, and how can I help? And we've got alumni that are wanting to buy baseballs for our guys to be able to hit pearls on opening day, and just how can we help? What can we do?
Awesome.
And so just giving them an avenue to do that. And so we're trying to get more of a fan-friendly environment. We've made things closer, and I know there's more things on the on the way with that. So hopefully we're doing that, and you got to be fun to watch too. You know, we want to hit the ball over the fence and steal the bases and all the things.
Just
so
win.
Yeah, we just got to do that. Yeah, and entertain them while you're doing it. That's right. So
And make sure you make the tournament.
that's right. Make the tournament, and so all the things. So
When we come back on Polk Nation, we'll finish up with Coach's final thoughts after this. We're back on Polk Nation. Justin Hill's team picked to win it all in the conference.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he's a class act. He's done an unbelievable job, and I'm really there's no one that I want more, you know, running and leading this baseball program than him. He's done a phenomenal job.
If they stay healthy, they got a really good team.
They do. They have a
I
really
always
good
say
team.
health means everything. So
For sure.
but that's a really.
I'll tell you this.
In all
though.
honesty, of your 5 big programs, 4 of them are trending in the right direction.
For sure, and I will tell you this too. You know, we've talked about Coach Langino and his culture in softball, but I'm gonna tell you what, they're very different personalities.
Very different.
Okay, but Coach Hill has a great culture. And what I said in the previous segment is true. All those kids love playing.
Yeah, they do.
You go out to practice, you go to the games, you talk to them off the field, you talk to them when they leave. They just love their experience with him, I love the program that he has developed here, and I'm like I said, I'm really looking forward to this year.
Well, I always say, because I played college baseball, it's always different than the rest of the campus because of the time of year,
Yeah.
people are leaving and all that. But also, it's all off campus, it's different times, it's different trips, it's a different culture. Baseball has always been different.
For sure,
Oh,
it is.
even than softball.
It is a different, and like you said, I mean, they're playing their tournaments and things like that in the summer where all the kids are gone and those things. But I'll tell you this too, Coach Hill and Coach Langino, but Coach Hill in particular right now, who we're talking about, their kids do a great job on campus too.
Yeah.
They do a great job in this community. They had a diamond dinner last Friday that was a huge success. Coach Hill just gets it.
And they both
he
lead the
gets it.
conference in attendance.
They absolutely.
You lead the conference in attendance in almost everything.
For sure. And it's a credit to our fan base. But I will tell you, to your point, we need to deliver results. And this is a result-oriented business in college athletics, and we need to, football's 100% trending in the right direction. I think women's basketball. You think about 3 years ago where we were compared to, or 2 years ago, and where we are now with Coach Kennedy. And then obviously baseball and softball have done really well. But basketball's got to get fixed.
So you got one to fix.
We got to fix basketball. This is with this facility and the way we're funded. In this community, this is the best basketball job in our league, and for sure top 2 or 3. And for us to be where we're at right now is, it's unacceptable.
Well, it is strange to
forward.
see that you have either the best facility or number 2. It's you or Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
You have the best crowd or Lamar, 1 or 2, and yet you're at the bottom of the league.
For sure.
So you're fighting for the bottom. It's a strange thing. Is there any talk moving forward on the future of the tournament to bringing all 10 teams in, or is it really 8's the limit? Because you want to reward the top 2 and the top 4.
I like 8. That's just me personally. I like 8.
You like the double bye and all that?
I'm not a big double bye person, and that's probably from experience. When I was at Martin, we had the double bye, and we ended up losing to the 8th place seed in the conference finals.
Thing.
It's really hard. I really personally like an old school 1-8, 2-7, and you play it out. But that's just me. But again, a lot of it is up to the coaches, and that's what they voted for and they want. And I think as athletic directors, getting in the weeds of what the coaches want and how the tournament is formatted, I get that. I think it's probably the best for them to make that decision. But I personally really like the 1-8 format.
Well, the 1-8 is you're playing a team that's coming in on the downside.
Right.
You play a team even if they're the 8th seed that won a game in the tournament, and all of a sudden they feel a little bit better about themselves. They're playing with house money.
Well, and when you get a double bye, you're sitting and watching, and you're not playing. And
You're sitting 2 days.
Exactly right. So then what happened? That's what happened to us. We won the first game when I was at Martin, but then we played a team that won 4 in a row, and they're just rolling.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't, But again, that's just me. But I do think that keeping it at 8 is the right thing.
Especially if you're going to have 2 tournaments here.
Yes.
It'd be really hard to do.
It'd be really hard to have 20
teams here.
Yep.
Yeah, and let's face it, not everybody has the right to be in
Well,
the
I mean,
tournament.
if you're, I think that, I think one of the ADs said in our meetings, if my coach is 9th or 10th, they don't need to be worried about a first round game. They need to worry about getting better players and recruiting. And there's some merit to that too.
There is some truth to that.
That's true.
So, all right, you got to make your sales pitch or to Gatsby.
Gatsby sold
does
out.
it not matter?
Gatsby sold out. It's sold
So
out.
now it's just a matter of the carnage that you leave behind.
It will be a lot of carnage. I'm telling you, it's good. It will be phenomenal. But and it's funny, now that it's sold out. We're sold out to the point where the fire marshal won't let us have any more people, and because I have calls every day and people saying, hey, can I get a table? I say, unfortunately, we're sold out. So when I pitch it early and you laugh at me, it is it will sell out.
I don't. Do I really laugh at you that much?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Yes, you do.
Well, that's-
And thank you to Needleland Jewelers as well, who was our title sponsor this year. They really stepped up, and I'm so excited about where the Gatsby is, and it's going to get even bigger and better every year.
Well, it's not going away, that's for sure. We'll see you next time on Poke Nation.